Windows notification went off in my ear and scared the absolute hell out of me. This video is made for adult collectors because this is the 4th time I'm recording this segment at the beginning, and I've never struggled with that. I know there are a lot of people who think Combiner Wars was fine, and then there are a lot that don't like it, and I'm sort of in that latter camp. Combiner Wars was fine for the time, but it hasn't really aged well. Plastics weren't great, toys lacked a lot of paint or good color separations, and their articulation was lacking by today's standards. Even by back then standards, previous toy lines had more posing than Combiner Wars stuff did. And those horrible hands and feet, which is why I've sort of fallen out of love with Combiner Wars. And now with Legacy Minosaur, we have the potential to get loads of great new versions of those old combiners. But this particular team, I don't see getting an update anytime soon. So the best way to get a good official Liokaiser is to go grab the Combiner Wars one with the hands and feet. And this set is pretty mixed in its individual bots, but at the end, the result is so nice with the hands and feet. Before I get into the figures proper though, this video is sponsored by Try Treats. Try Treats is a snack subscription box service that delivers snacks directly to your door once a month from a different country every time. This time we got Indonesia, which was the same country as the first time I ever got a subscription box from them, but the food was different. So they made sure to change it up, which I thought was really cool. Now, I can't eat any of the food, so here's my dad eating all the food. So my dad's decided to set these up, and this Romulan ale because he thought it was funny.
What? What's wrong with Romulan ale?
Hang on, let's see. That's a thin cookie.
Ooh, crispy. Me like.
What was that? What?
Monster.
No. What is? There she is. Hi, Ruby.
Oh, these are interesting looking.
What?
I don't know if they're salty or if they're sweet.
They look like pool noodles. Okay.
I think they're gonna be salty.
You made a mess.
They're weird. They're different, not weird. They're different.
And if you use code THATTOYGUY in all caps, you'll get 15% off your first purchase using the link in the description down below. So thank you very much for sponsoring today's video. Now back onto the actual toy. I'm going to be using their old names because I can't really remember the new ones and can't be asked to because I don't think they're very good. But this is Hellbat, and he looks a tad weird. Not a fan of the off-white plastic. It looks and feels very weird, like it feels chalky. And the wide upper torso is a bit off. This is just one of those more lackluster Combiner Wars molds because a lot of the parts are static and the colors are just uninteresting. He comes with this hollow-ass gun too, which just doesn't look the greatest. Like it's overall, the skydive mold is just eh. But by proxy, Skyhawk is awesome. Like, look at this pink fucker. Skyhawk is so cool. The Combiner Wars glossy black they really just loved to use at that time for some reason. It works well here with the little bits of yellow. He still uses that ugly gray for the thighs, but there's some silver on the wings that just looks really lush. And then we move to Drillhorn, who looks a bit ugly, and then Kill Bison comes in to save this mold for me, because I think this is my favorite Combiner Wars mold right now. It uses the Rook legs, which was the best part of Rook, and a very interesting upper body. The mold does have trigger-happy shoulders, which is annoying because those shoulder pads don't help, they bump into the heads, but the mold is still a lot of fun. Kill Bison's gold does look a tad bit plain, but that's nothing in comparison to Drillhorn's blandness. His lower body is very just white and nothing else. It's like he's not wearing any pants. They all have the same skydive gun, but you can put the turrets off and put them in their hands. Good luck trying to do that though. They're on there real tight. Mine will not come out now that I've put them back in. This is weird. Not sure why they picked this mold. I think it was because of the monster mode, but like, this guy was never even in the original Liokaiser, but I had to get this if I wanted to get this, the G1, and the HasLab one coming out. It's so weird, but it's neat, I guess. Best color scheme on this mold, though. I honestly don't know what else to say other than this is just weird, and I really don't understand its inclusion other than it's the closest we're going to get to that Murder Chicken alt mode. But still, why Deathsaurus? Why? But this ensemble is weird. The set doesn't seem to blend well together in robot modes, and I just think that has to do with that shoehorned in Skylinks. Why? So articulation on Combiner Wars toys wasn't usually the focus because they had to do like 3 different things as deluxes, and as we learned from the last video about combiners, doing that with deluxes is kind of that's why Minosaur just works, because it's you plug them on. But this was before all the standardized stuff, so you're not going to get this level, which this poses quite well. This doesn't. So I'm not going to go through Skyhawks because it's the same exact mold. Well, not the same exact mold, but it's the same exact amount of articulation. Head on a ball joint. Shoulders can rotate. They can go in and out. You got bicep rotation. Single jointed elbow that is extremely loose on my copy, both sides. You got waist rotation. Hips can go forward, back, in and out. Thigh rotation. Little under 90-degree bend at the knee. And then nothing at the feet. The deluxe Seeker molds were quite limited in their articulation. That being said, the tanks are very, very posable. Oh, I've knocked his ear fin off. So your head can rotate, no ball joint. Shoulders can rotate, they can go in and out. This one does push his little horns back in, but they go out about that far. You got elbow bend, bicep rotation. You have a waist joint. Hips can go forward, back, in and out. Thigh rotation. 90-degree bend at the knee. And ankle pivot. However, because where this port is, a 5mm port, this ankle only goes out that far before it untabs. This one goes a little bit further, but you do have ankle tilt. So he's a little bit more posable, but still also limited in certain areas. But he's more posable than that dude. Then we bring in Skylinks, or Deathsaurus, or whatever. I don't know. He's got like tons of joints in the neck, so he can look all around when he wants to. That's compressing the head. Peg that back in. Mouth opens and closes. Legs move. He bends at the elbow. You got claw movement. Back here, same thing. Rotates. It swivels. In and out. Paw movement. These do go in and out. These ones. Not these though. These just swivel. And then his tail, which keeps folding up, is just that. That's all he has for a tail. And stay pegged in. Just gonna push that back up so it stays pegged in. But yeah, that's it. That's a bit this mold's not great, honestly. So as robots, they don't look super cohesive, but as vehicles, now they're a lot better as vehicles. All right, let's turn them into vehicles. We'll get the big bird out of the way first. That way I don't have to look at it anymore. I'm going to take the weapons off because what I'm going to do is take them and forget they exist for the rest of the video. You're then going to compress this, very much so like the Earthrise toy and the original. We're going to fold the wings in and fold them back and in. And then it's just a matter of compressing the limbs. Now this is really interesting. Oh, fold the tail up. The way that he does this. So we're gonna just bring this. No, it's this way. Bring this all together like that. That's that done. You want to open this up, and then you want to take this section and bring it around, and then oops, pull the neck out, and then just sort of fold it in like that, and it tucks the arms away inside. They're not hanging off the bottom, which I do quite like. I like the way it tucks everything up nicely. It is just a little bit weird to finagle these into place, but once they're in place, close that up. And then there you have Space Shuttle mode with really floppy winglets. Let's do him. So for Hellbat, you just peg the legs together, open this section up, compress it, all Combiner Wars like, obviously. Rotate the head around, fold this up. God, I haven't done this transformation in a very long time, and then I bought this box set. And it just felt super natural to do, because this was like the skydive mold was the only Combiner Wars toy I had for a very, very long time. And there we have the jet. That's actually a nice looking jet, all things considered. Skyhawk, very similar, but the way the wings are done is a lot more interesting in my opinion. Bring the arms down and peg them in. And then you fold these like that. I love that. I love this Top Gun Maverick style jet. I think this is really, really cool. And in pink, it actually looks nice. It actually looks quite cool. And then we got the tanks. I'm only going to show one of these because they're both exactly the same, and it's too hot in here right now to do this without the fan on. So, straighten out the legs, rotate the waist, fold the horns up, fold the head in, compress this, bring the tank barrel up, close that around, pop that up. Then you want to Combiner Wars rook the legs, because these are just rook's legs. And then peg it together, peg it all together. Tank. Yay, tank. These are much better. Yeah, the jets are a little bit chunky, but like they all look like they fit. Some ground-based and some air-based vehicles. That feels like a cohesive team. The drill tank looks ridiculous, but the rest of them are great. Like, I love Guy Hawk's alt mode the most because of how vibrant it is, but the rest are definitely a step up from those robot modes. Deathsaurus has a little bit of floppy tail fins, but I really like the shuttle mode. The paint apps, all of them just look like stickers. Even though there aren't any stickers, they look like stickers, and I love when Hasbro does that to these toys, especially like the older Japanese G1 style toys where the only deco was stickers. The tanks are weird. The turrets on the regular tank goes up and down, but neither of them rotate, which is a shame because there looks like there could have been room to totally fit that in. But it's a nice little cropping of vehicles, but this isn't what we're here for. So let's just combine them. So somehow the footage I just shot of the combine mode that I just did just got like erased. Well, not erased, it just had all these weird lines on it, so I'm redoing it. You can do them in whatever orientation you like, but I personally like to do it this way, and you'll see why more when we put the upgrade hands and feet on. But here's foot, leg done, arm. Basically just start converting it back to robot mode, but then sort of stop halfway because you want to get the arms up here. Both arms work almost identically, just this changes. To get all this situated here, reaccordion it out, and then you take the hand foot gun. There you have arm, torso. I like to extend this and just bring it up like that for now. We're going to then fold this down like so. Then you want to open this section up and bring these out. Rotate it down, bring this out, and fold that up. There you have one thigh section all done. Let's do the same thing on this side. Close that up. Without getting it caught on the wings, fold this down like that. Fold that down, rotate the head, bring the claws down, fold the wings back up. And then for this piece, I like to just orient it like this. That's how I like to do the back section. And then, all Combiner Wars style, you slide that in. Come on, there we go. And then you just get the arms in place, like so. And yay, combine mode. Now this is what we want. This is what this is made for. Let's get rid of those god-awful hands and feet. There we go. This thing looks spectacular in this mode. And with those new hands and feet, the proportions look a lot more clean, and it's just a monster. It's a nice and manageable size too, that's what she said. And the posing power, let me show you what this thing can do with the hands and feet, and the basic joints in the combiner. It's just so cool. So, articulation of this guy, as you saw, is quite good. I'm a little far away. I will say handling this is a little bit ghastly because it is a Combiner Wars toy, and Combiner Wars toys didn't have the best joint tolerances and weight distribution and all that. And then these hands and feet don't exactly help because they're third party, so they're not exactly up to the same quality as like your average Hasbro thing. So they're a bit but head can rotate. I do wish it could look up and down, but it can rotate. Shoulders, these don't lock in, which is a little annoying. They rotate, so you have to hold it. Shoulders can rotate. They're on ratchets. They can go in and out. These don't lock in either. However, I like that because stock straight, the arms look like this. And then out, they're a little too far out for my liking. So if I just bring them up here a little bit, that works for me. And that sits out a little bit. Also, because they don't lock in, you have butterfly joints. So that's really cool. You got you got bicep swivel, elbow bend, wrist rotation, and then because these are the upgrade hands and feet, they're individual finger articulation. Nothing at the waist, which is kind of unfortunate, but due to the way that this whole thing works, actually, you know what? No, they could have fit a waist joint in there. There could have been a way. Anyways, legs can go forward that far, but not the strongest hip ratchets in the world. And you can see one of my issues with the tanks forming. They can go back, they can go in and out. You have upper thigh rotation and then above the knee rotation. You have 90 degrees of bend at the knee, and the tanks like to start falling in half every once in a while, like coming apart. That's kind of annoying. And then the upgraded hands and feet have ankle tilts because they're on ball joints. And this one's coming out again. So yeah, he's a little bit awkward to handle when you're posing it around, but man, does he look good when you finish posing it. Now, one thing you can do with a bit of rearranging is you can do the sideways tanks on the legs while still technically having knees, though it means the knees are all the way up the thigh and it looks weird. But this is my favorite combiner from Combiner Wars, and it looks awesome in combine mode. It poses so well. It's making me want to revisit some of the other combiners. Superion, Takara Computron maybe. I'm definitely going to get a couple more because these are just, they aren't bad. Not Minosaur though, that thing can go away. Of course I recommend it, but it's very expensive. I got this for 150 pounds from Toy Fu at TF Nation, which is still expensive, but it's not terrible for something this uncommon. It's actually the cheapest I've ever seen it. If you can find it for the same price, I'd say get it. But those hands and feet are essential, I'd say. Unless you're okay with the hand-foot gun things. But that's my look at Combiner Wars Liokaiser. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.